psychology is a fascinating area of study. It helps us to understand human behavior and mental processes and allow you to better understand how we think, act and feel. Hello everyone, I am Gargi Gupta, Faculty of Psychology at SRN International School, Jaipur. Today I will be explaining one of the important topics of psychology for grade 11th and 12th, that is classical and operant conditioning. Classical and operant conditioning are two important concepts central to behavioral psychology. While both result in learning, the processes are quite different. To understand how each of these behavior modification techniques can be used, it is also essential to understand how classical and operant conditioning differ from one another. Let's start by looking at some of the most basic differences. Classical conditioning was first described by Ivan Pavlov, a Russian psychologist, whereas operant conditioning was first described by B.F. Skinner, an American psychologist. On one hand, classical conditioning focuses on involuntary automatic behaviors, and on the other hand, operant conditioning involves applying reinforcement or punishment after a behavior. The third difference is that the classical conditioning involves placing a neutral sign before a reflex, and operant conditioning focuses on strengthening and weakening voluntary behaviors. Now, let's talk in detail about the classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a type of learning that happens unconsciously. When you learn through classical conditioning, an automatic conditioned response is paired with a specific stimulus. This creates a behavior. Even if you are not a psychology student, you have probably at least heard about Pavlov's dogs. In an experiment on canine digestion, he found that over time dogs were salivating not only when the food were presented to them, but when the people who fed them arrived. To test this theory, that the dogs were salivating because they were associating the people with being fed, he began ringing a bell and then presenting the food. So they had associated the sound with the food. These dogs learned to associate the bell ringing with food, causing their mouths to salivate whenever the bell rang, not just when they encountered the food. Here, the unconditioned stimulus is the thing that triggers an automatic response. For example, food is the unconditioned stimulus in the Pavlov's dog experiment. Unconditioned response is what response naturally occurs when you experience the unconditioned stimulus, such as salivating from the food. Now, conditioned stimulus is considered a neutral stimulus. When you are presented with it over and over before the unconditioned stimulus, here in the example as food, it will start to evoke the same response. The bell before the food is the conditioned stimulus. Conditioned response is the acquired response to the conditioned stimulus, that is the bell, which is often the same response as the unconditioned response. So, the dogs salivated for the bell the same way they salivated for the food in front of them. Conditioning is beneficial in an evolutionary sense because it helps us to create expectations to prepare for future events. For instance, getting ill from a certain food helps us to associate that food with sickness. In turn, that helps prevent us from getting sick in the future. We are all exposed to classical conditioning in one way or another throughout our lives. In our day-to-day, advertisers often use to push their products. For example, beauty commercials use actors with clear, smooth skin to lead consumers to associate their product with healthy skin. Now, let's study in detail about the operant conditioning. Operant conditioning was first described by the behaviorist B.F. Skinner, which is why you may occasionally hear it referred to as Skinnerian conditioning. As a behaviorist, Skinner believed that it was not really necessary to look at internal thoughts and motivations in order to explain behavior. Instead, he suggested we should look only at the external observable causes of human behavior. Skinner used the term operant to refer to any active behavior that operates upon the environment to generate consequences. Skinner's theory explained how we acquire the range of learned behaviors we exhibit every day. Operant conditioning, sometimes referred to as instrumental conditioning, is a method of learning that employs rewards and punishments for a behavior. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence, whether negative or positive for that behavior. For example, when lab rats press a lever, when a green light is on, they receive a food pellet as a reward. When they press the lever, when a red light is on, they receive a mild electric shock. As a result, they learn to press the lever when the green light is on and avoid the red light. But operant conditioning is not just something that takes place in experimental settings while training lab animals. It also plays a powerful role in everyday learning. It relies on a fairly simple premise. Actions that are followed by reinforcement will be strengthened and more likely to occur again in the future. If you tell a funny story in class and everybody laughs, you will probably be more likely to tell that story again in future. If you raise your hand to ask a question and your teacher praises you and your polite behavior, you will be more likely to raise your hand the next time to ask a question, because the behavior was followed by reinforcement, or you can say a desirable outcome. The preceding action is strengthened. Conversely, actions that result in punishment or undesirable consequences will be weakened and less likely to occur again in the future. If you tell the same story again in another class but nobody laughs this time, you will be less likely to repeat the story again in the future. If you shout out an answer in the class and your teacher scolds you, then you might be less likely to interrupt the class again. I hope with these examples, the topic operant and classical conditioning won't trouble you anymore. If you understood the topic well, please like and share this video with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. Thank you and have a nice day.